it's like one of my favorite topics. So at no delay, we're going to run right into it. We're going to talk about emotions and how it helps every business succeed, right? And I'm a huge fan. I'm an emotional person, like most of us, I guess. But I'm open about it. I'm openly emotional, and I think I'm very, very like proud to be that. And sometimes you tend to, when you're working over 10, 15, 17 years, you tend to like step back and say, like, how right are emotions for business, right? And it's so empowering to see someone actually talk about how emotions empowers conversions. So I'm so happy to welcome you, Talia, to Store Conversions on Steroids. And this is day 6.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So we'll dive right in. We took a little bit extra of your time, so we want to just get into it today. Tell us a bit about, for our audience, of course, a bunch of them already know you. We've got some of the questions, but what do you do and why is it important for e-commerce or any business?
So I am the founder of Uplift, which is a conversion optimization agency. And what we do is we help high growth brands optimize their funnels and websites to increase conversions. And the way that we do it is using emotional targeting, using psychology, behavioral psychology, and basically understanding how customers buy and what makes people buy. And we've been doing it for over a decade now. We've helped so many e-commerce brands over the years. We also do it with B2B and other different types of companies. But we've actually been lucky enough to work with some really amazing brands in the past 2 years within the e-commerce industry. And we've had such an incredible impact using emotion within an e-commerce business has not only helped us increase conversions and sales and revenue for our clients, but has aligned entire teams around who their customers really are, what pains they're actually solving, what people need to hear, read, feel, see in order to convert. So it just has so much impact across the entire business. And it's really cool to see the long-lasting results as opposed to, I guess, a minimal conversion optimization program where you're simply testing a call to action button or you're simply testing a different element on the page. This process that we go through with our clients really has a huge impact in the long run and lifetime value and everything.
Yeah, that's very interesting to hear. What I'm hearing is that, there's of course CRO and then the whole, experimentation and optimization process. But what I'm hearing is that if you take it from the lens of emotion and persuasion, you see bigger long-term impact. Could you give us an example, something that quickly comes to mind?
Yeah, for sure. Working as an example, we work with a company called Upright. Upright sell a brilliant device that helps you fix your posture. It's tiny and you put it on your back and it vibrates when you bend forward and reminds you to sit up straight. It's based on biofeedback science. It's backed by 500 clinics. It's amazing. And when we first started working with Upright, a lot of their messaging was focused on how the product works, which is how I just explained. Oh, you lean forward, you get, a vibration, you stand up. And it was very much focused on the product itself. We did our research and we identified a couple of really amazing things. First, we identified who the biggest customers are. Who are the 3 types of customers that are coming to their website and why? Because the whole idea of emotional targeting is understanding the why behind a purchase. What are the emotions? What are the challenges, the different roadblocks that people are experiencing in their life right now that are leading them to find a solution online? And we helped uncover those 3 top pains that lead people to Upright's website. And what we also uncovered were the desired outcomes. So how do people want to feel after purchasing this solution? Not just the actual, I guess, result of standing up and sitting up straight, but how do they want to feel about themselves? And what was incredible is that, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, we made some key substantial changes to their product pages. We changed, well, this is a bit of a giveaway, but we changed their description of the product on the product page and the headlines. So we changed messaging. We changed the product images, which I'll get to in a minute. And we also worked a lot on the type of social proof, because social proof, testimonials, quotes, like everyone knows that works, but are you using the right one and the right ones? And then doing all that helped us increase their revenue so much and increase conversions by an amazing amount. But what's been even more incredible is that that was just the start of the journey. And what you usually see with regular conversion optimization tests, where you're just changing a piece of the puzzle, you're just changing an element, and you're not thinking strategically, you might see an uplift, but it kind of drops off at some point. But using emotion has helped us, by actually leveraging and speaking the customer's language, has helped us continuously increase conversions, because as we work, we've optimized the category pages, the product pages, the home page, the emails that they're sending, the reviews page, the customer pages. Everything now speaks one language. So when someone comes to the website and they're going through different pages and they're going down the rabbit hole, they can clearly see themselves, their challenges that they're facing, and why Upright is the one to solve it for them. And that has helped align all of the teams. Now, when they think about creating landing pages, when they think about their PR, when they think about customer success, even when they're talking to customers that may have questions, or if they're talking to other different people online, even in chat, they know who they're speaking to, and they know what to say, and they know what they care about. And that makes everything different. It makes the whole customer journey a cohesive one that really speaks, to everyone and to their customers.
Yeah, and that leads to the next question, which is the core of why we are meeting today, is product pages, right? Like product page, forget product page, but products. Like, how do you define your products, explain your product, showcase your product, present your product? That's the core of any business, right? And usually it tends to be very feature heavy. I think it's like SaaS business, e-commerce business, irrelevant. We just jump into features all the time, right? And I would love a little bit of a tear down and any examples that you can show on a framework, maybe. How do you approach bringing in emotions and the customer perspective into actually defining your product?
Yeah. So what's interesting is that it's true. I feel like most of the websites I've ever seen, whether they're e-commerce or SaaS, are so focused on themselves. Everything is about pricing, features, technology, but there's nothing about the actual customer, the person behind the screen. The process that we go through, the discovery process, is really a qualitative one. So we have our data analysts that do the quantitative, which is basically looking in the data, Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, and all that good stuff to understand where the problem is. So identifying where a problem is pretty simple. The issue is usually identifying what changes you can make that will actually increase conversions. And that's where qualitative research comes in. So we do a lot of customer-based research, customer-first research. That means that we do visitor surveys, customer surveys. We do customer interviews, review mining, social listening, competitor analysis, just so much work. But it's always based on listening to customers. Now, the key here is not asking questions like, how would you rate our website? Or how would you rate your experience? Or how would you rate the product? Or did you like it or did you not? But asking meaningful questions that will really leave a mark and get us some meaningful answers. So I'll give you an example. You could ask people, which is what most brands do, why did you buy our product? And what they will most likely say is, you had the best pricing, or you had this feature, or you had this type of element in your product, and that's why I bought it. But they're not going to say, the heavy stuff, the meaningful stuff of what actually led them. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the actual intent. So instead of asking them that, one of the questions that we love to ask is, if you could no longer use this product, what would you miss the most? So if we took this away from you today, what's the one thing you would miss the most? There's the value. There's the real value, because they're not going to say, oh, I'm really going to miss the fact that you can turn it. I'm really going to miss the fact that it's blue. No, they don't care about that. They're going to tell you about, oh my gosh, now I won't be able to look, straight up. I'll feel that everyone's looking at me, or I'll still, my mom will keep nagging me about my slouching, or they'll mention the things that have had an impact on their life. Or you could ask, what happened in your life or the day that led you to search for this solution? So what was going on? What happened? It's so much better than saying, so why did you choose us? Because that is just leading them to answer uninteresting questions. And what we do with that information, so once we've done visitor surveys and we've uncovered roadblocks, why they're not converting and why they're coming to the website, and once we've done customer surveys and we've uncovered the true real value that your product actually delivers, and we've done customer interviews and we've listened in different groups on Reddit, on Facebook, in Quora, all over the web to what people are talking about, what they're saying, then we can come to the website and say, here's what you're going through right now. And it's going to be real. We're going to identify with them. We're going to say, you're working 10 hours a day in front of a computer and you're in terrible back pain. Or you've noticed in some of your photos lately that you're slouched. We will mention the things they really care about, and then we'll be able to also offer solutions that they care for and want. So that's a bit about the discovery and how we do it. And then we basically apply messaging and design to it and test it. Does that make sense?
Totally. In fact, it's very interesting. Something that stood out to me was what was happening in your world the day that you actually looked for that, solution, or you started searching for something out there, right? So do you think, it makes me curious, is it positive or negative emotions? Like, do you see a difference between utilizing either?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, we want to know the before and we want to know the desired after. The before isn't about diet, right? We're not talking about like, now you're big, you can be, thin. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the before. Challenges, pains, concerns, things that are keeping them up at night. We want to know that because we want to make sure that the product that we're actually offering is solving those problems. Because a lot of the times we'll find that we're talking about things that our customers just don't care about. So the pain really matters. But it's not about just saying, this is terrible, but just reflecting it back to them so we can build trust, but also building a story and saying, this is how you could feel. This is where you could be. This is where you could feel. This is what you could feel about yourself or see about yourself. We're painting a picture of what really could be. And that is the whole story. It's not part of it. It's not what do I think people want as a brand, or what do why did I create the product? It makes it about them. So the pain and the result, the before and after, really do matter in everything that you do.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that it's actually the story of the pain moving to kind of like an aha moment or a success or a positivity versus just one or the other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So audience, if you have any questions, you can start typing in. I already got a few questions, so I'm going to quickly dive into that. And then I have another question that I want to ask Talia about. I'm not letting her go so quick today. So James actually sent me a question in advance, and his question was that, are there any biases that you have seen that actually affect shopper decision making really big? And is there some way to kind of circumvent that?
Oh my gosh, there are hundreds. There are hundreds of cognitive biases that our brains, that exist in our brains, and they're basically shortcuts that our brains take in order to make decisions quickly, because we are rational people, though we love to think of ourselves as rational. We're rational people. We cannot make decisions based on data and, rational alone. We base all of our decisions in life on experience, on our emotions, on feelings, on what we have in front of us. And our brains take shortcuts, and what you can do about it. So there's two things. Number one is be aware of the different cognitive biases that are out there. A while ago, we created a PDF of like 30 of them that impact marketing in e-commerce. And the whole idea is there's like, okay, here's something that a cognitive bias that could be affecting this person, and here's how to deal with it. Because once you know what the bias is, it's easier for you to deal with it. Now, what I want to say is that some cognitive biases, there's nothing you can do about it. Some you can avoid, and some you can address point blank. For example, there's just so many. But if you're thinking about anchoring, or if you're thinking about loss aversion, there's just so many cognitive biases. So it's a bit of a hard question to answer, but all I can say is 100% there are biases. We can't avoid them. We can't avoid them in CRO either, but we do our best to inform ourselves of them and either avoid them or tackle them in our messaging and our design, and so on.
Yeah. So, which means that James and Talia, we are due for a longer episode at some point in time where we dig down into cognitive biases and how to kind of like work around that in CRO. So that's going to come in June.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I love the next question because it kind of ties into PDP and emotions. How do we think differently about emotions and messaging on something like a marketplace where I just have list pages in my control, and versus my own store, right? First that, and then there's another part to the question.
Yes. So we recently worked with a brilliant marketplace called Wiser. Wiser are basically an amazing product for teachers and educators that want to create digital worksheets. So if you're a teacher and you want to create an interactive worksheet for your students, you will basically create this worksheet, make it into like an interactive worksheet, and people can, and your students can answer it. And that's super cool. However, they also have an actual marketplace where you can create your own worksheets and then deliver it to people. And anyone who wants to actually download a worksheet can do it themselves and use it themselves and translate it into their own learnings. We still used emotion because what we wanted to do is really speak to our customers and say, this is why this platform is right for you as a teacher. And this is how it's going to help you as a teacher. Because the reason they're coming to your marketplace the reasons are usually pretty much the same. They have the same pains, and now they're looking for someone else to help them, and they're trying to use templates, or they're trying to buy something from someone else as a marketplace. Emotions still exist in the way that you present stuff, and also in the way that they do. You can't control their work and how they do it, but you can control the actual things that you say about it, how you highlight certain things in your marketplace, your headline, your CTA, and so on. So emotion ties in directly. We've had amazing results with Wiser, and I'm sure we'd have very good results with any other marketplace because it is emotional, any decision like that.
Yeah. And the second part of the question that was Barada asking that is, do you see behavioral messaging and emotional messaging kind of change between segments of customers, boomers, millennials, Gen Zs?
It's a good question. That's not how we look at customers. So I think this is a very big difference between the emotional targeting methodology I developed and the behavioral one, which exists for everyone. In the behavioral world, you're encouraged to segment people according to their device that they're using, the age, their geographical location, their gender, and maybe also, what generation they're from. In the emotional targeting methodology, a 70-year-old and a 12-year-old could have the same emotional triggers, because it's about the different pains that they're experiencing that are leading them. It's less about a profile, which is why I'm not really big on personas and profiling, and more about the top pains that are the problems and the jobs that people are trying to get done. It's more about their pain. Someone who's Gen Z or Gen whatever may have the same, they may have the same problems, the same pains. I'm sure if we dissected it even more, then maybe we would see a trend, but that's just not how we go about it. We look at the problems, the pains, the challenges versus desired outcomes, and that's how we segment.
So just to dig into that, because that's very interesting even for me, is for example, in the case of the product that you are talking about, which is to straighten your back, how would you consider a set of problems for and all kind of segments feel it?
Amazing, great question. So I think in the past, the way it was segmented is by age, gender, geographical location, and like a very wide blanket saying health. It's about your health.
Yeah.
The way we actually ended up segmenting it is to 3 types of pains. The first one are sedentary. People who sit in front of their computers all day, and their pains are very specific. They're uncomfortable. They're starting to feel neck pain. They're starting to feel back pain, knee pain. They're just tired, they're overworked, or they're straining themselves. And what happens is also one of their problems is they forget. They may start the day thinking, God, I'd have to work on my posture, remember to sit straight. But as the day works, and we all do this, we start slouching. And it's not something we control. It's just something that happens. So that's one group. The other group are people that really do have health issues with their back. So these are conscious health seekers, the people that really want to fix a specific problem that they've had for a very long time with their back. These are people that have usually tried like the braces and all the different horrible technologies that hurt you. The third type of people are more of the, I'd say, aesthetic people and the health conscious who aren't about fixing a problem, but preventing it. These are the people who have seen a photo of themselves slouching, or that their mother keeps telling them they're slouching. These are the people who have a Fitbit, and they have a heart rate, and they have, every single wearable device, because they care about their health. They want to maintain it. They want to make sure it's good. They go on, these are people that they may not have even a problem right now, but they're thinking about it for the future. And there are 3 different types of people, but they may be from different ages. They could be doing different work. They are probably from all over the world. And we don't categorize them according to those behavioral metrics. We're categorizing them according to the pain that's leading them to the website. Are they conscious about the way they look? Are they conscious about, the fact that they're sitting down all day and in pain, or are they actually trying to solve a chronic pain? 3 different things.
Yeah, no, that's very true, because it might so happen that different age groups also fit into the same bucket. It's not necessary
exactly
that chronic pain is just for my mom, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. There's one more question, and first of all, he thanks you, Seth. He thanks you for your insights, and his question's about how do we pick up emotions from user reviews and use it within the product page to help folks buy better.
Great question, Seth. One of the things that we love to do is actually download all the product reviews, everything. Like it could be thousands even. We put them in a spreadsheet and we start looking for themes. Yes, this is done manually. You can use tools. I know you can, but you only start to see the nuance and the real themes when you're doing it yourself. Don't download 1,000, download 150. And look at the different themes. We like to categorize them as positive, negative. And then when we're looking at the positive, what is the underlying thing that people are mentioning? We do the same with negative to understand the pains and things we need to fix. But once we've done the immediate research where we understand, okay, here are the 3 pains that we know that are leading people. So if we have different products for different types of pains, or if we have one product that will work for all three of them, we'd include testimonials and quotes from people who mentioned those specific things. So if you go to the Upright website, you will see that we're now using quotes to show that 750,000 people are using this product, which is incredible. But also you'll see quotes of someone who has chronic pain, someone who cared about what they look like, and them, I think it's their wife said, I don't know why I remember this, but their wife said she noticed a difference within 2 days. Or someone that said, I used to have so much pain working and now it's gone. And there's hundreds and hundreds of those, but we keep surfacing the ones that people care about, because in reviews, and that's like what I was saying before about social proof, we keep just saying social proof works. But if you have a quote on a product page that just says, this is the best product ever, okay, that's cool. But if you had a quote that's a little bit longer and actually told a story, like, I did this, and then I did that, and I tried this, nothing worked, and then I tried this, people can relate to it. People love that and connect with it. And that has a direct impact on conversions. And we've seen it on so many websites, especially e-commerce. So reviews are so important and should be used wisely.
Yeah. Love that. And I want to round up. We're just, I think we're already 8 minutes out, but we will take 2 more minutes of your time, Talia. Okay. And we'll round up with the final question that's from my side. You use, we review mine, and we kind of do user research. We do qualitative and quantitative. We've got our product pages handy, and we convert customers. Now we want to get loyal customers back in. We want to retain them. How do I use emotions to do that?
Well, email marketing is huge with e-commerce, right? One of the things that we do with a lot of our e-commerce clients is we think about the emails that we're sending, and we start segmenting and sending emails according to the different pains that people are feeling. Now, it depends on the type of product that you're selling. If you're selling one product, or if you have 2,000 products, if you have upgrades for your product. But the idea ultimately is to think about making sure that your customer actually got the result that they wanted from their first purchase, and then emailing them about the next step in that journey, on that journey. The more you focus on their outcomes, their values, their pains, the better. The emails that brands are sending out with 50% off today, only today, I'm not saying they don't work, but if you're not connecting it to the actual pain that someone's feeling or the emotion, there's only so much that scarcity can work. You could probably do a lot better if you were to mention, and here's why you actually need this. Here's the value you're going to get from this. Yeah. This is why you actually want to purchase this too, or you want to upgrade to the next experience. And it really matters. And I see so many brands either sending an email once every 3 months because they're scared of spamming people, and then they're missing out and they're not building that relationship, or they're sending emails every single day about sales that I don't care about. So you need to do a good job at segmenting. I think that one of the best things that you can do is after someone purchases for the first time, on your thank you page, have a survey. Do not miss out on this. For anyone who's listening, that's a gold mine. Just asking that question that I just said to you before, like, what was going on in your life today that made you search for this solution? Amazing. Or what is the best possible outcome you're hoping for with this product? And you can, change it to whatever you're selling. But you gain so much data from it that helps you segment these people in your email list so that you can send better emails, because email is, the gold mine of everything. So email.
But the difference that I hear is that we tend to do email more as offers most of the time, or just like, hey, you used it, now just use it, right? But here I'm hearing so much more, I think, deeper understanding of the context of the user and the success that they're expecting to get, and then what could be the next steps for them in the process.
Right? Showing them how to get there, for sure.
showing them how to get there. Thank you so much, Talia. This was so, as I said, super exciting for me, and hopefully this is not it. We'll have you back for that deep dive into biases and how to kind of optimize for that in CRO. But today was great. I learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure our audience did too. Thank you so much, and hope to have you back soon again. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.